What if everything you've been told about productivity is wrong? What if working harder and longer isn't the answer to achieving more? In today's world, we're taught to hustle, to be constantly busy, to check emails, attend meetings, and stay on top of everything. But despite all this effort, how many of us truly feel like we're making progress? How many of us feel like we're actually getting the important work done? Cal Newport's Deep Work offers a radical idea. The real key to success isn't about doing more. It's about doing fewer things, but doing them better. The ability to focus deeply on your most important tasks without distractions could be the game changer you need to unlock your full potential. But here's the catch. Deep work is rare in a world full of constant distractions. We've all become addicted to the quick fixes, emails, social media, and constant interruptions. So how can we regain our ability to focus deeply and achieve truly extraordinary results? Welcome to Book Play, where we turn powerful books into powerful life changes. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like and subscribe to get more transformative lessons that could reshape the way you work and live. In this video, we'll dive into deep work and uncover the practical strategies you can start using today to become the kind of person who can truly focus and achieve greatness. Meet James. He's 28 years old, a software developer at a fast-growing tech startup. On the surface, his life looks pretty good. He's working with a talented team, earning a solid salary, and enjoys the flexibility of working remotely. From the outside, James seems like someone who has it all figured out. But deep down, he's struggling in ways no one sees. Every day feels like a constant race against the clock. His schedule is packed with meetings, deadlines, and quick-fix tasks. It's one email after another, one call after another, and by the time he looks up, half the day is gone. There's never enough time to focus on the important stuff, the kind of deep, thoughtful work that drew him to software development in the first place. James remembers when he used to get into the flow. He'd sit down with a problem and lose himself in the code, working through it step by step, developing elegant solutions. There was a sense of joy in solving complex puzzles and seeing his work come to life. That was his passion. But now, it feels like he's just treading water. He doesn't even have time to sit down and think before something pulls him away. Slack messages, pinging him constantly, emails flooding his inbox, quick questions from teammates, it's endless. Every time James tries to focus on an important project, he's interrupted. His concentration shatters, and it takes longer to get back into the zone. And when he finally manages to complete a task, it often feels like it was rushed or half done. His code isn't as clean as it used to be. His problem solving is more reactive than strategic. Deep work, the kind that requires true focus, has become a rare luxury. It's not just about the work itself, though. The pressure is starting to build, both at work and in his personal life. His manager keeps piling on more tasks, the team is pushing for quicker releases, and deadlines are tightening. The stress is spilling over into his free time. Instead of unwinding in the evenings, James finds himself still mentally plugged into work, running through lines of code or thinking about the next urgent task. Weekends, once a time to relax and recharge, are now spent catching up on everything he didn't finish during the week. And all of this is wearing on him. James feels exhausted, physically, mentally, emotionally. The passion he once had for his work is slipping away, replaced by a sense of overwhelm. Even when he's at home, he can't escape it. His mind races with unfinished projects and things he needs to do. He's constantly working, but not actually progressing. It's as if the more time he spends working, the less he's actually accomplishing. To make matters worse, James starts questioning himself. He feels like he's failing. At first, it was just the occasional slip-up, missing a small detail in a line of code, forgetting to respond to a client email. But now it's bigger. He's falling behind on tasks he used to excel at. The quality of his work is dipping, and the stress is starting to affect his confidence. He wonders if he's just not cut out for this anymore. One evening, after yet another long day of bouncing between meetings and firefighting urgent tasks, James feels mentally drained. He opens his laptop, expecting to unwind with a few minutes of reading, but instead, he's flooded with more work. As he's scrolling through a tech blog to distract himself, he stumbles upon an article titled, "How Deep Work Can Transform Your Productivity." The title catches his attention. Could this be the answer to his constant frustration? The more James reads, the more it resonates with him. Deep work isn't just about working harder or longer hours. It's about working smarter. It's about carving out blocks of uninterrupted time to focus deeply on a single task. He realizes that he's been so caught up in the noise, the emails, the meetings, the distractions, that he's lost touch with the kind of deep, focused work that originally drew him to coding. This could be the solution he's been searching for, a way to regain control over his time, his focus, and his productivity. The idea is powerful, eliminating distractions and prioritizing work that requires intense concentration. For the first time in months, James feels a spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, he can break free from this cycle of shallow work and burnout. He orders the book Deep Work that night, feeling a cautious sense of optimism. Could this book really help him reclaim his focus and passion for the work he loves? For the first time in a long time, James feels like there might be a way out of this overwhelming cycle. He's ready to give it a shot. Deep Work by Cal Newport is a powerful guide for anyone looking to unlock their fullest potential in an increasingly distracted world. In it, Newport explores the idea that the key to mastering any skill, achieving extraordinary results, and finding true satisfaction in your work is deep work. The kind of focused, uninterrupted effort that allows you to push your cognitive abilities to their limits. Newport argues that in today's fast-paced, always-on digital world, our ability to focus deeply has eroded. We're constantly bombarded with distractions, social media notifications, email alerts, Slack messages, and endless meetings. These distractions create a culture of shallow work, tasks that are easy but don't require much mental effort. While shallow work can make us feel busy, it leaves us drained and unfulfilled. The concept of deep work, however, is the antidote. It's about carving out uninterrupted blocks of time where you can focus on the tasks that truly matter. Newport emphasizes that deep work isn't just for elite performers. Anyone can benefit from it. In fact, those who can cultivate the ability to focus deeply in a world full of distractions are the ones who will achieve the most. For James, the book is eye-opening. As a software developer, he's been stuck in the cycle of shallow work for far too long. Deep work could be his solution to regaining the productivity, focus, and passion he once had. But the book doesn't just talk about how important deep work is. It also provides a roadmap for how to integrate it into your life. Newport breaks deep work into two essential components: the ability to focus intensely and the ability to minimize distractions. He offers practical strategies for making deep work a regular part of your routine. These include designing your environment for focus, scheduling time for uninterrupted work, and even embracing boredom to train your mind to resist distractions. As James dives into the book, he starts to realize that deep work is not just about getting more done. It's about doing the right work, the kind that will help him grow, improve, and find meaning in his career. The book promises not only a boost in productivity, but also a shift in how we approach work itself. Newport's approach is a wake-up call. It's not enough to work hard. You need to work deeply. And that's the promise deep work offers to anyone looking to take their professional and personal lives to the next level. For James, it's the first step toward a transformation, one that will change how he works, how he views success, and how he reclaims his passion for coding. Lesson number 1. the importance of deep work. James is about to have his first major breakthrough as he dives into the core lesson of deep work, the undeniable importance of focused, uninterrupted effort in an increasingly distracted world. Up until this point, he's been running on autopilot, checking off tasks without considering the quality of the work. But Newport's argument is simple and powerful. The ability to focus deeply on one task is what separates top performers from everyone else. And in a world where distractions are the norm, the ability to focus is now a rare and highly valuable skill. For James, the realization comes slowly but powerfully. In the past, he thought that simply working longer hours would be enough to make progress. He believed that staying busy was the key to success. But now he starts to understand that it's not the quantity of work that matters. It's the quality of work, and that quality only comes when you can dedicate sustained focus to the tasks that really matter. Newport explains that deep work is the cognitive equivalent of a superpower. It allows you to process information at a much higher level, push your intellectual abilities to their limits, and create work that's not only efficient but transformative. For someone like James, who has been struggling with distractions and burnout, this concept feels like a lifeline. He realizes that in order to truly excel at his craft and grow in his career, he needs to reclaim his ability to focus deeply. But it's not just about doing more work. It's about doing better work. James realizes that shallow tasks, quick emails, meetings, and constant task switching are stealing his mental energy and limiting his potential. They leave him feeling exhausted at the end of the day, but with little to show for it. The more he reflects, the more he recognizes that he's been spending his time on the wrong things. The key to deep work, Newport argues, is carving out uninterrupted blocks of time during which you can focus on high-value tasks. These periods of intense focus allow you to complete work faster and at a higher level than if you were constantly distracted. It's about creating the conditions where you can truly get into a state of flow, a mental state where you're fully immersed in your work and time seems to disappear. For James, this realization is a turning point. He starts to feel the weight of all the hours he spent spinning his wheels, tackling low-priority tasks that don't move him closer to his goals. As he reads further, Newport's suggestion of deep work sessions, where you dedicate entire hours to a single task without distractions, feels like a game changer. James begins to think about how he can structure his days to prioritize these blocks of deep work. Start with one focused, uninterrupted hour per day, where you can work deeply on one important task. No distractions, no multitasking, just pure focus. By doing this, James takes the first crucial step in reclaiming his productivity and focus. He understands that deep work isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for anyone looking to thrive in today's world. James's understanding of deep work begins to shape his transformation. He's no longer just checking tasks off a to-do list. He's intentionally focusing on what matters most. With this newfound focus, he's ready to dive deeper into the next challenge: how to protect his time from constant distractions. But focusing deeply on important tasks is easier said than done. As James continues to embrace deep work, he'll need to face another challenge: the constant distractions that threaten to pull him away from what truly matters. How can he protect his time and mental energy in a world designed to keep him constantly busy? The next lesson shows him how to master that very skill. Lesson number 2. Embrace boredom. After his first taste of deep work, James feels a renewed sense of purpose. He's made progress, but there's still something nagging at him: distractions. Even when he's working on important tasks, his mind keeps drifting. He has this constant urge to check his phone, scroll through social media, or respond to an email. It's hard to stay fully focused. And when he's not working, he's constantly looking for something to keep his mind occupied. Another show to watch, another video to scroll through. But Newport has an answer for this too. In Deep Work, Newport introduces the concept of embracing boredom. He argues that in order to cultivate the ability to focus deeply, We must train ourselves to resist the temptation of constant distractions. The constant stimulation of modern technology has conditioned our brains to expect instant gratification and be in a state of perpetual engagement. As a result, we've lost the ability to sit with boredom, those moments when there's nothing happening and nothing to distract us. James realizes that the inability to sit with boredom is a major obstacle in his path to deep work. Every time he feels a bit of boredom creeping in, he reaches for his phone to check notifications or to fill the gap with something mindless. He's been conditioned to avoid boredom, believing that it's uncomfortable or unproductive. But Newport's insight strikes a chord. Boredom isn't something to avoid, it's something to embrace. The truth is, we can't expect to develop the ability to focus deeply if we're constantly seeking distractions. When James picks up his phone at the slightest sign of boredom, he's reinforcing a pattern of shallow work. Each distraction weakens his mental focus and steals away the opportunity to train his mind to be more resilient. Newport encourages us to create moments of boredom intentionally by resisting the urge to check our phones or switch tasks when we feel that twinge of restlessness. This is how we rewire our brains to tolerate boredom and in the process strengthen our ability to focus. James decides to take this challenge seriously. He sets a goal to spend small, controlled periods of time where he allows himself to be bored, whether it's during a walk or when he's waiting for a meeting to start. He resists the urge to check his phone. Instead, he lets his mind wander. And over time, he notices something amazing. The longer he embraces boredom, the easier it becomes to focus. The key here is deliberate practice. Just as a muscle gets stronger with resistance training, his brain becomes better at focusing the more he resists distractions. He begins to find that after just a few days of practicing this skill, he feels more present, more aware, and more capable of concentrating when he's working on something important. For James, embracing boredom is a game changer. He starts to view those moments of discomfort not as something to be avoided, but as opportunities for mental growth. Whether it's sitting through a dull meeting without checking his phone or going for a walk with no music or podcasts, these small moments of boredom help him build his mental resilience. Intentionally create moments of boredom in your day. When you feel the urge to check your phone or engage in mindless distractions, resist it. Allow your mind to wander and embrace the discomfort. It's training your focus. By practicing this, James is starting to train his brain to stay focused for longer periods. He's not just getting better at working deeply, he's becoming better at being with his thoughts and mental stillness, which allows him to focus with greater intensity. James now understands that deep work isn't just about avoiding distractions. It's about learning how to be okay with boredom. The more he embraces it, the easier it becomes to settle into moments of deep focus. And as he trains his mind to be comfortable with discomfort, he's one step closer to mastering deep work. But simply embracing boredom won't be enough to sustain deep work in the long term. James knows that he needs to take control of his time in a way that minimizes distractions and maximizes focus. The next lesson is all about how to structure his day and schedule his time to protect those precious blocks of uninterrupted focus. Lesson number 3: quit social media. James is starting to see the power of deep work. His ability to focus has already improved, and he's feeling more productive. But there's one lingering issue that keeps threatening his progress: social media. James realizes that despite his best efforts, he still spends too much time scrolling through Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. It's not just about wasting time, it's the mental energy these platforms consume. Every time he checks his phone for a quick social media fix, it feels like his brain is hit by a wave of distraction. His focus is shattered, and even if he manages to return to work, he finds it harder to dive back into the zone of deep work. Newport makes a bold recommendation in deep work: quit social media. It might sound extreme, but his reasoning is clear. Social media is designed to capture our attention and keep us engaged, whether through endless scrolling, notifications, or algorithm-driven content. It's not just a time waster, it's a powerful force that chips away at our ability to focus. The average person spends hours each week checking their feeds, and for someone like James, that time spent in shallow engagement could be better used on high-value tasks that move him closer to his goals. At first, James is skeptical. Social media is how he stays connected to colleagues, friends, and the world. He uses LinkedIn to network, Instagram to stay in touch with his social circle, and Twitter to keep up with industry news. Could quitting social media really be the answer? But as he thinks about it more, he realizes how much mental bandwidth it's consuming. Every notification interrupts his workflow, and every post or update leaves him feeling either agitated or envious. He begins to see that his time online is contributing to his feeling of constant mental overload. His attention is being fragmented by an endless stream of content that doesn't contribute meaningfully to his life or work. He's been using social media to fill the gaps in his day, but it's also making it harder to do the deep, focused work that he now knows is essential. James decides to experiment with quitting social media for a month. He sets clear boundaries. He'll deactivate his accounts, remove the apps from his phone, and replace his social media time with more focused activities like reading, writing, or exercising. It's not easy at first. The urge to check his feeds is strong, and he finds himself reaching for his phone out of habit. But as he sticks with it, he notices a profound shift. Without the constant distractions of social media, James feels more present and aware. He has more mental clarity, and his productivity skyrockets. He starts to use his freed-up time for things that actually add value to his life, like deepening his skills, working on projects that matter, and spending quality time with his family and friends. The results are undeniable. His ability to focus improves, and the deep work sessions become more productive and fulfilling. James realizes that quitting social media isn't just about getting rid of distractions. It's about taking control of his attention, the most valuable resource he has. By eliminating the low-value activities that social media encourages, he's freeing up more space for the high-value, focused work that can truly transform his life. Consider quitting or reducing social media use for a period of time. Start by deactivating your accounts or removing the apps from your phone for a week or a month. Replace the time you would normally spend on social media with activities that align with your long-term goals. By doing this, James is able to reclaim his mental space. Social media is no longer the thing that pulls him away from deep work. It's the thing he's learned to resist. James has taken a bold step in reclaiming his focus by quitting social media. He now has more mental clarity, more time, and a stronger ability to focus deeply on the tasks that matter. But quitting social media is just one part of the puzzle. The next lesson will explore how James can optimize his time to make sure every day is structured in a way that maximizes his productivity. While quitting social media has given James back his mental energy, there's still the matter of structuring his days so that he can make the most of the time he has. How can he design his schedule to protect those deep work hours and make every minute count? That's exactly what we'll explore in the next lesson. Lesson number 4. Drain the shallows. As James continues to practice deep work, he starts to realize that one of his biggest hurdles isn't just the distractions of social media or the temptation of shallow work. It's the sheer volume of tasks that don't actually move him closer to his most important goals. Meetings, emails, minor administrative duties, all these tasks flood his calendar, demanding his attention, but none of them require true, undivided focus. They're what Newport calls shallow work, tasks that don't really push the needle forward, but take up significant chunks of time. James notices that despite his deep work sessions, his calendar is filled with low-value, time-consuming tasks that pull him away from what truly matters. He finds himself spending hours in meetings that could be condensed into shorter discussions, responding to emails that aren't urgent, and checking off small tasks that don't align with his bigger goals. It's frustrating because even though he's staying busy, he knows he's not making progress on the things that matter most. In deep work, Newport emphasizes the need to drain the shallows. He argues that in order to focus on high-value, deep work, we need to eliminate or minimize these low-value, shallow tasks. Shallow work doesn't require our full cognitive capacity, and it often leaves us feeling mentally drained without providing real satisfaction or accomplishment. James begins to see that if he wants to continue making meaningful progress, he needs to take control of his schedule by cutting out these shallow distractions. The first step is recognizing which tasks qualify as shallow. These are usually the tasks that have little to no impact on long-term success, but they can consume an enormous amount of time. Emails, phone calls, meetings, routine errands, these are the shallow waters that are drowning his ability to focus. James starts to audit his calendar. He identifies everything that doesn't directly contribute to his goals and starts cutting it out, or at least delegating it to others. He cuts down the number of meetings he attends, schedules dedicated email checking times, and begins batching tasks together to minimize wasted time. But James also realizes that draining the shallows isn't just about eliminating tasks. It's about intentional scheduling. By creating clear, focused blocks of time for deep work, he ensures that shallow work doesn't creep into those precious hours. He sets aside specific times for emails, meetings, and other low-priority tasks so they don't spill over into his deep work sessions. It's not about doing less. It's about making sure that everything he does is aligned with his bigger goals and contributes to his growth. James also starts saying no more often. He becomes more selective about the projects he takes on, the meetings he attends, and the commitments he makes. By learning to say no, he frees up more time for the work that will move him closer to success. He also starts blocking out time for rest and recovery, understanding that his productivity depends not just on how much work he can cram into the day, but on the quality of that work and the energy he has to give it. In the process, James feels more in control of his time. He no longer feels like his day is being hijacked by low-priority tasks. His focus improves, and he feels more confident in his ability to make meaningful progress on his most important projects. Audit your calendar and eliminate shallow work. Block out dedicated times for emails, meetings, and other low-value tasks. By creating clear boundaries for shallow tasks, you can free up more time for deep, high-impact work. By draining the shallows, James is able to preserve his cognitive energy for the tasks that really matter. His ability to focus improves, and he feels more empowered to take on the challenges that will lead to real growth. James has now learned the importance of draining the shallows. By eliminating the non-essential tasks that clutter his calendar, he's creating more space for deep, focused work. His time is no longer scattered, it's more intentional. But even with shallow work under control, there's one final piece of the puzzle: how to ensure that his deep work sessions are sustainable in the long term. The next lesson will explore the importance of rest and recovery in maintaining peak productivity. While James has learned how to control his schedule and eliminate distractions, there's still one crucial factor he needs to address: his energy. Without proper rest, even the most well-planned deep work sessions can't be sustained. In the next lesson, we'll explore how to build rest and recovery into his routine, ensuring that his productivity remains high over the long haul. Lesson number 5. The importance of rest and recovery. By now, James has transformed his approach to work. He's embraced deep work, learned to tolerate boredom, quit social media, and cleared his schedule of shallow tasks. His focus has never been sharper, and his productivity has soared. Yet, there's still one critical piece of the puzzle he's been overlooking: rest and recovery. James has always been someone who pushes himself to work longer hours, believing that success is all about grinding away. The idea of working non-stop without breaks feels like the ultimate form of dedication. But Newport presents a different perspective. In deep work, he emphasizes that rest is not a luxury. It's a vital part of the creative process and essential for long-term productivity. James begins to realize that his intense focus and long hours of work are starting to take a toll. Despite his success with deep work, he feels mentally drained at the end of the day, struggling to maintain the energy and creativity he needs to push through. What he's missing is a structured, intentional approach to recovery, time for his mind and body to recharge so he can sustain his productivity over the long term. Newport explains that the most successful people don't just focus deeply, they also prioritize recovery. Rest is essential for maintaining the mental energy needed to do deep work consistently. Without it, we can't perform at our highest level. Our cognitive abilities wear down without proper downtime, leaving us less effective and less creative. This is why James is feeling burnt out despite his progress. The deep work he's doing is mentally taxing, and without recovery, it's becoming unsustainable. The solution is simple. James needs to build restful recovery into his routine. Newport recommends that we deliberately schedule rest just as we schedule work. Whether it's taking regular breaks during the day, ensuring that evenings are free from work, or setting aside entire days for rest, these moments of recovery allow us to restore our energy and maintain focus. James begins to experiment with a new schedule that prioritizes rest. He starts taking shorter breaks throughout the day, walking outside, meditating for 5 minutes, or even just sitting quietly to clear his mind. He also establishes boundaries for his evenings, making sure that after a certain time, he's not working or checking emails. By ensuring that his evenings and weekends are free from work-related thoughts, he gives his mind the space it needs to recover fully. He also makes sleep a priority. James understands now that quality sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's essential for maintaining peak cognitive performance. He creates a bedtime routine, avoids screens an hour before sleep, and ensures he's getting enough hours of rest. He begins to wake up feeling refreshed, ready to tackle another day of deep work with renewed energy and focus. As James integrates rest into his routine, he starts to notice a significant difference. He's no longer dragging himself through the day, trying to power through fatigue. Instead, he's consistently able to dive into his deep work sessions with full mental energy. His productivity is higher, and his work feels more inspired and impactful. James has learned that deep work isn't just about intense focus, it's about having the energy and mental clarity to sustain that focus. Rest and recovery are what allow him to continually show up at his best. Without them, the high levels of focus he's worked so hard to cultivate would be unsustainable. Schedule rest and recovery into your routine. Take regular breaks throughout the day, ensure your evenings are free from work, and prioritize sleep. By making rest a non-negotiable part of your routine, you'll ensure that your deep work remains sustainable in the long term. With proper rest, James has become more productive than ever. He's not just pushing himself harder, he's allowing himself the recovery time that makes his focused work even more effective. But as James reflects on his transformation, he realizes that deep work is not just about doing the work. It's about building a sustainable lifestyle that supports long-term success. James has learned that deep work is only possible when it's supported by proper rest. By prioritizing recovery, through breaks, downtime, and quality sleep, he ensures that he can maintain high levels of focus and productivity over the long term. With this final piece in place, James is ready to face the future with a mindset and routine that will allow him to do his best work consistently. It's been a few months since James decided to make deep work his guiding principle. Looking back, he can't help but feel amazed by how far he's come. His journey hasn't been easy, but it's been nothing short of transformative. The stress and anxiety that once defined his daily routine have given way to a deeper sense of purpose. He feels more in control of his time, more connected to his goals, and more confident in his ability to achieve what he sets out to do. When James first read Deep Work, he was a little skeptical. The idea of focusing so intensely seemed impossible in a world full of distractions. The thought of quitting social media, draining the shallows, and embracing boredom felt like radical moves. But now, as he reflects on the progress he's made, it's clear that these principles didn't just change the way he works. They changed the way he lives. He's become someone who doesn't just get through the day. He actively designs his life with intention. His work is no longer scattered, unfocused, or exhausting. Instead, every task has purpose. The deep work sessions he once feared have become his most productive and fulfilling moments. He can sit down at his desk and dive into a challenging task for hours without feeling overwhelmed. He knows that the focus he's cultivating now will pay off exponentially in the future. But more than just improving his work habits, James feels a new sense of peace in his life. He's no longer trapped in a cycle of burnout. He's learned that rest is not a weakness but a strength, and it's allowed him to be more productive than ever. His days are now balanced, with clear distinctions between intense work and well-earned recovery. He's stopped pushing himself to the brink of exhaustion, and as a result, his productivity has soared. More importantly, he's regained the energy to focus on the things that truly matter to him, from pursuing his passions to nurturing relationships and investing in personal growth. Social media, which once felt like an essential part of his life, now seems like a distant memory. James no longer feels the pull of mindless scrolling. He's replaced that time with activities that nourish his mind. Reading, learning, and engaging in conversations that add value to his life. And with fewer distractions, he's become more present in everything he does. His relationships have deepened, his work has become more impactful, and he's even found time to explore new interests. It's not that James doesn't face challenges anymore. He still struggles with time management and occasional distractions. But what's changed is his ability to handle them. He now knows that with the right strategies in place, he can overcome almost any obstacle that comes his way. His work has become more intentional, and his focus has become more resilient. James is no longer chasing the next shiny thing. He's focused on what truly matters to him, and that clarity has empowered him to achieve deeper success, both personally and professionally. And he now understands that deep work isn't just a productivity hack, it's a lifestyle choice. It's a commitment to living with purpose, to investing deeply in the things that bring the greatest rewards, and to making the most of every precious moment. As James looks ahead, he's excited about the future. He knows that the work he's doing today is laying the foundation for even greater achievements in the years to come. But perhaps the most rewarding part of his journey is the realization that he's in control of his time, his focus, and his future. No longer will he allow distractions or shallow tasks to steal his attention. No longer will he settle for a life of busyness over productivity. He's learned that deep work, while challenging, is the path to true fulfillment and success. James's transformation shows us that deep work isn't just a strategy, it's a way of life. By embracing focus, eliminating distractions, and prioritizing what truly matters, he's been able to achieve more than he ever thought possible. And the best part? You can do the same. If you found inspiration in James's journey and feel ready to take control of your own focus, it's time to start. Begin by applying just one of these lessons today, whether it's embracing boredom, draining the shallows, or scheduling intentional rest. You don't need to make a drastic change overnight. Small steps will add up over time. If you're committed to building a life of purpose and focus, consider subscribing to Book Play for more insightful summaries and actionable lessons from the best books on personal growth, productivity, and mindset transformation. Let's continue this journey together. Remember, the most important step is the one you take today. Are you ready to make it count?